Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson, you're watching Nature Nell, and if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you to all the new subscribers that I've gotten in the past few weeks. There's been a great amount that has been stopping by and watching my channel. I appreciate you guys, as well as my solid viewers I've had since the beginning. Thank you all. It's been a wonderful beginning of the new year, and I've had so much to show, like today, which is my favorite What's in Bloom. You guys know, who've been following me, that back there is my little heaven, my little paradise, and I always love to share it with you guys humbly, and I do it because I think it inspires people to grow orchids better. It's the way that I started growing my orchids. I was inspired by YouTubers such as Blanca. She was my personal inspiration for starting YouTubing. So I hope that it inspires you guys to grow your orchids better and maybe even do your own YouTube channel. So I have a lot to show you guys. It's crazy how spring is gonna be so floral this year because there's just so much in bloom, and I had to start right now at the beginning of February because there's just a lot of stuff back there that I don't want it to wither away and you guys miss out on it. So without further ado, let's go look at some blooms. All right, my friends, I'm going to start right here in the very front because I want to show you how everything, all these projects I was talking about, how they're turning out. So I'm creating sort of like an entrance this way. I took out the bistro table there that honestly, I would sit in it sometimes, but not really. So I figured, it was more for aesthetics. And honestly, I need more space for my dendrobiums and my other orchids that are getting really big. As you can see, they're just growing right out of the actual towers that I just created, and I left one empty to show you guys what it looks like. So basically it's just this: you create sort of a cylinder with this I don't know what they call this, chicken wire or chicken fencing, but you can get this anywhere. You can get this at Home Depot, on Amazon. It's super easy to bend. Like, I bent all these and locked them in by hands with obviously a glove and a pair of pliers, but it's super easy. It's very soft. I would recommend to use a plier though, because if not, you're gonna, after a while, if you're doing multiple ones, it's gonna hurt. And then I just fill it with styrofoam on the very bottom. It's all filled up to here with white packing styrofoam, and then I fill it with lava rock, which I buy this at Home Depot. So then what I do is I created these pieces of wood. This is actually water pressured shelving wood, so it's already pressured with water. It could get wet over and over, and it's going to stay like this for a very long time. It can get a little moldy if you wet too much, but other than that, it'll withstand the weather and the rain very well outdoors, and you can get that at Home Depot. So this is exactly what I ended up doing. I have several. Sorry, I just realized my hand and my let me move this over because I am not about to start over. All right, guys, sorry about that here. That's better. It's my new equipment, it's still trial and error. There we go, that's better. So look how pretty that looks, and it holds the dendrobium so well. And it's nice just to mix and match, you don't have to be just dendrobium. You can add like these beautiful arachnids that I just got from Lady Vanda. They're about to start blooming, just like that cymbidium that it's going to be a show from Krull-Smith, the Geno's Gem. So I can't wait for this to bloom. It had 6 spikes, but 2 of them are the ones ready to bloom. So let's go to what we're here for. Check this out. Look how many blooms are in here. Now this one, I want this to be the first one to be showcased. This amazing dendrobium anosmum comes from none other than S&W Orchids, which is located in Hawaii. Hold on, I don't want it to swing so much. It's located in Hawaii, and it's probably one of my favorite anosmums here. It has a beautiful color. The fragrance is extremely sweet. It fills the air in here with its fragrance. It's competing with other ones here now, and you can still smell it. And it's got a little one up there opening. And let me show you the tag. And if you guys are interested in this orchid, You can find him on Instagram. It's very, very easy to order from him. Just send him a direct message on Instagram if you have Instagram, and tell him that you saw this on my channel. This is the one. He'll know right away which one it is, because I think he sent me this last year. And he specializes in these type of anosmums, and they're really, really beautiful and very fragrant. Now this cutie patootie here, you guys, if you saw my last episode of the OFE's local orchid fair, I showcased this Tolumnia. This is the one I ended up exchanging it with, because I really, really like this one. I gravitated towards the cranberry and yellow at first because of the colors, but I realized, nah, this is a much prettier Tolumnia, and it's gonna go so well with that art piece that Arnold sent me. He made a couple of them. This is number 2. He is an artist. I think it's colored cement, he told me. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Arnold, if I got it wrong. But he does really cool stuff. And he sent me this beautiful, beautiful mount to put an orchid on, and it acts as hair. So I said, it has to be the perfect kind of orchid that doesn't overgrow and cover the art, because then, you know, that would be very sad. And I figured a Tolumnia is perfect. The roots are very, very thin. So see, it's already laying on top of the mask. It looks beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm super happy with that choice. I'm glad I returned the other, not returned, but I just exchanged it. And then above it, oh, did I show the tag on this? No. Yeah, let me show you the tag, because then I'm going to be editing, and quail eggs. You know, this is the first time I actually read the tag. I didn't know that was the name. Cute. I like it even more because we have quails here in our area. At night you hear them. So look at this. This Brassavola nodosa is just stunning. I've had this in bloom now for the past month almost. And because it's been cool out, it has not withered away the flowers as quickly as it normally does. So I've had this treat to be able to enjoy the flowers a little bit longer than I normally am used to seeing them. And this is just like, it's like if it just opened. It's been about, I would say about 3 weeks. I'm gonna go pretty quickly, only because there is a lot to show. Now this one, I will put the name under. Julian sent me, I had shown you guys this mini Vanda from Krull-Smith. Is this not adorable, guys? So I didn't have a name, and a couple of you wanted to know. So they sent me the cross. I don't think this is a registered one. I guess they normally, if it's registered, then it has a name, or when it's awarded, you get to name it. But this one, I think he sent me the cross only, so I'll put it under there. But it's so pretty. I got it over at the Tamiami show. Now, right above is this gorgeous Dendrobium pendulum. I got this from Smiley. I always wanted one of these, and one day she surprised me. I was heading out, and she goes, hold on, come back. And she handed me this. I was like, oh my God, this was over at the Flamingo Park, I believe. And look how cute she encases it in like a kokedama type of encasing. And that's the name. Dendrobium pendulum. It's such a neat flower, right? And it has fragrance. You know, I don't know what kind of fragrance it has. Let me see. Let me take a whiff. It has a nothing fragrance right now. Well, right underneath we have a Cattleya that shares the same colors as the Dendrobium pendulum. And look, this is also from Krull-Smith. This is an award-winning Cattleya. I just watered, guys, so it's going to have water drops. But look, what a perfect little flower. Well, it ain't little. Here's the size. It's medium size compared to some of the Cattleyas I've been seeing. But what I love about this Cattleya is just the whole entire sophistication around the labellum and the softness of those colors combined together, the pink, the lilac, it's sort of like a pastel yellow. And then the leaves are not really white. They are almost cerulean, you know, that lavenderish blue. So it is truly a wonderful, wonderful Cattleya for your collection. Ludminiana, Cerulean stripes. I bet you Julian is watching this and saying, because it has cerulean in it. And it has an FCC award. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous flower. I couldn't wait for it to bloom. I was like, oh, she has 3 buds. I can't wait. Now, if you think this is extraordinary, this is super extraordinary. Check this out. Look at the colors on that. I don't remember if I showed you guys this in full bloom. I know I've shown you a couple of times, and I know someone on Facebook, I was sent, somebody had taken pictures of or screenshots of my haul and posted it on Facebook talking about this flower, the Showtime. And I said, you know what? I'm going to showcase her again, because I didn't realize, you know, it is a pretty hard flower to find, especially, or should I say orchid, sorry, this size. You know, this is a pretty decent size for that flower. And I got it at Waldorf Orchids. They are awesome, awesome, awesome. He always has really good stuff. And that's has an HCC, and that's the cross underneath. Right now, Showtime, I think, is one of the most popular orchids out in the market. The first person to show me this orchid was the Orchid Den. He was the first one that I actually saw selling this out in fairs. And I think he gave it to me. Yeah, that one was a gift. That he gifted me that. And actually, it's right under here. Roxy, look, there's the gift you gave me. Roxy gave me this last year. It's a green. It's actually greener than it looks on film. It looks teal there, but it's a lot greener. And this is my other Showtime. See? And it's getting a fairly good size. When I got it from Josh, it was a lot smaller. And look, it's catching up to that. So it might just give me, it already bloomed, but it might just give me a spike this size. I would not doubt that. But it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful orchid. The tones on it are so exquisite and very tropical. Could you imagine a Hawaiian lei made out of this? Wow. Can you imagine how expensive it would be? Now, next door was a surprise. I have no idea where I got this beauty from. I want to say I got it at Krull-Smith. I almost feel like I got it at one of the OFE fairs, because I don't have a tag, but I can see that this is something I repotted. Or what I'm thinking is this was a division that somebody gave me, and this is the first time I'm seeing this flower. It's just really, really gorgeous. Speaking of Hawaii, look at that. That's Hawaii all over it. What a gorgeous, gorgeous Cattleya. And it's a pretty good size. And I only have it, you guys asked me what medium do I use? Look, that's all volcanic or lava rock. That's all it is. So yes, you can grow them. If you have a very humid environment, you can grow them that way. I did show this already before. I'm going to be quick with this one because my last was in bloom in January. I talked about it and it was already in full bloom, but I do need to show it again because I want to show you guys. See how the flowers are starting to go? It's been open for several weeks. I would say it's going on its 3rd week, maybe even 4th. Look at that. How gorgeous that flower is. Now I found out, and I have all 3. This is a hybrid of a sesquipedale angrecum crossed with Abrianium. I always get that name wrong. Abernium, I think that's how it is. When you cross those 2 species, you get this. Therefore, it's a primary hybrid. Any orchid that's a hybrid from two original species is considered a primary hybrid. That means it's a very first hybrid of that generation. And then they might start using this for other mixes, and now it becomes, you know, crossing with other crossings. And that's how you get the craziest flowers. But this is actually a direct descendant of those two. And I will show you, I have the sesquipetale right here. It has, there goes my hand again, which is a decent size. Here. And I'll put the flower there. And Grecan sesquipetale. And the Abernium, I don't know why I have trouble saying that one. Where do I have that one? I know I put it in a new pot, but for, oh wait, I remember now. Somewhere in here, isn't it? Or did I, no, right here. I'm making you guys dizzy. Right here. This is the, yeah, because I just put this down here. It got so big and I put it in this pot. And this one I use chips. I use regular chips, but I don't wet it that much. And here, this is the Eburnum, and it's from my friends at Moats. So anyway, that has never bloomed for me, but that one died all the way down to 2 leaves, and I brought it right back. All right, guys, let's continue. Let's go into this area. Well, we're already in here looking for the... Now, I want to focus on this for a second. I want you guys to look at this flower. Look at the tones of that purple violety contrasting with that cranberry. It is such a pretty flower. I just got this from Banjong Orchids. He's got more. These are absolutely beautiful. The saturation of this flower is just so regal. It's like a royal orchid. Now, here's the name. Kohlmari Banjong, and it has an award of merit. This is their Kohlmari cross. Hold on, let me clean it a little because the flowers are going. And this was a beautiful gesture from Ben. When I went to go get a gift for Blanca's garden makeover, he says, you know, I've been wanting to give you this and I haven't found the time. And then he hadn't seen me, and I've been promising to go do another video at his place, because it's just going there. It's just great. You get so much great stuff to share, and I really, really love his vandas. They're super, super good. Here, you guys that have been following me, you know how well they do. They just bloom over and over. So he gifted me this as a gesture of appreciation for, you know, promoting him and buying from him and, you know, speaking about his orchids. And I told him, listen, I am not going to lie to my viewers. If there's one thing I will never do is lie to them. If I find something that is worth it and it's something that it's good quality, I will promote it. And I believe in your orchids. Your orchids are one of the best out there. One of the best vandas you can find are there. And speaking of vandas, look at this papa. This one was from OFE's. Now, I did feature this last time, but the sun is out. It's better lighting, and I think I could get better captions of this. Yeah. So when I show them on my previous one, I don't really spend too much time on it. I'll just do a see, glur sandwich. I was right. This was the same one that was over at OFE's, I believe. So I'll show it quickly, and if you guys are interested in seeing more of it, just go ahead and go to the previous What's in Bloom. And for you guys that are asking me about my fairy tale joy, or joy fairy tale joy phalaenopsis, here it is. It's doing great. It's got 2 spikes and it's about to start blooming. It's just a very slow bloomer. You know, the spike comes out and it takes forever. Now up here, this was one I almost missed. This beautiful cerulean colored Cattleya from Springwater. This is called a Sea Breeze Hawaii. Look how gorgeous that is. And it is a very, very, very fragrant cattleya. It's a shame I have her all the way up there, but it's such a big cattleya that I have no space for it other than there. See, I have it on a cork and it's just free rooted. I can smell her from here, believe it or not. It's free rooted. And the tag is, you know, I would show you the tag, but it's way up there. I'll edit it in. Let's just go down here and look at this. Very cool. That this one I can show you the tag. I don't know why I always put it all the way down there. It's because I want to show you the flower with the tag. But anyways, I got this from Vicky's Orchids a couple of years ago. And this one, they were tiny. I think she sold them to me for like, I don't know, like $15 each. And I told her I'm going to put them all in one of these pendants that they sell at Banjong. You could also get them at RF, by the way. But this one is from Banjong's. And Banjong right now has a lot of new pots. He got a whole shipment in. I told him that truck was stacked to the back. So if you guys want new, beautiful terracotta pots from Thailand, definitely check out Banjong. But you would have to go there. I don't think he ships them. It's too heavy. So anyways, this flower is just absolutely stunning. And you guys know how I feel about those colors, you know? So it's always going to be a big winner immediately when I see that color. Now let me jump across here because I didn't want to forget this. Right behind here. This is the first time this blooms. This was a gift from one of my neighbors years ago, and it finally bloomed. Check this color out, guys. This is a trichoglottis something. I don't know. I definitely know it's a trichoglottis because of the leaves, but I don't know anything about this flower in particular. Is that not stunning? And it's a tiny flower. It's not a big flower. Sorry about that. It's got a lot more to go. It's got several, but see? And these, they call them, I think it's mule ear or donkey ear orchid because of the leaves. But it's just so striking. That color is, if you guys were here, it's very saturated, like fluorescent. Gorgeous, gorgeous tone. And it has that little pink inside the top of the labellum that just adds so much character to it. And in front of it, one of my top ones here. This one blooms so much. I got this from J&J Unique Orchids from John, and this is one of his award-winning Vandas. Very nicely fragrant, a soft, nice fragrant, but a beautiful, beautiful flower. I love little tiny Vandas like this. Here, I'll show you how. It's that tiny. And, hold on. Now it swings away the other way. All right. There you go. My God, that was such a task trying to get that tag. The plant would actually flip one way and then it would flip the other way. Right above, it's from Sierra Madre, still blooming. If you guys want to see more of this, go to my last What's in Bloom. This was also in my last What's in Bloom, but look how beautiful the flowers have opened. It's not so beautiful. A lot of cranberry and yellow this February. Perfect timing for Valentine. For the month where we acknowledge love more than, because for me, I acknowledge love every day. So it's like, I don't need 1 month to acknowledge it. But it's nice to say that it's that 1 month we celebrate it the most. See, like this little buggy here. This is a Why Not? A Cattleya Why Not is a mini. And here, no, you're not gonna get lost. I keep finding tags on the floor because it's been so windy. So that's it. And then the roots push him. Believe it or not, the roots push him out. Okay, let me see what else that I haven't shown. I think I've shown you all these. All right, guys. Well, I didn't show you this. This beautiful Alba Rincon Stylus. You know, I've been doing some beautiful night shots with these flowers. Maybe I'll put them in the end. I mean, there'll be a lot of things to add to the end, but because I already add the shows that are up and coming. But this flower is just so pure, and it has a tiny little bit of like a peach right inside. I mean, it's barely there, but you do see it, and it smells delicious. Liam Singh right next to it, still blooming. That's in the last What's in Bloom, so you guys can definitely go there and check it out. Now this one, my Mount Toro, is finally in complete bloom. The last few times I showed you guys, it was semi-bloom. The top one I think hadn't bloomed yet, but it's such a fancy looking Paphiopedilum. And I got this at Lady Vanda. And those long petals, they keep growing more and more. It's very interesting. When they first open, they're not that long, but then they just keep stretching and twisting even more. And there's a plant. I've had this plant now for like 4 years. Let me see. I know I have a tag for this, or did I lose a tag? Yeah, I did lose it. I'll put it underneath. I remember I lost this one a while ago. And that one I have shown already. This is from Florida Orchid House. And this is another beautiful path. And this is the second bloom it gives me. I won this at an auction, and I won it with a bloom already. And that bloom fell, and lo and behold, it gave me another one. It likes it here. I like when I see that, because that means it's telling me I like it there. Now, I wanted to show you this. I got this from Backyard Blooms. Remember what I told you, that sometimes the first flower that opens up in the new environment, it's kind of like small, runty, and wonky. Well, this one's like this. But with that said, I'm going to tell you, I can't wait to see when this is in its full glory. This is a really pretty dendrobium flower. And I know from the pictures, it looks way big. It's like twice the size of that, and just very silky. So I'm glad to see that it gave me a little runt, just to give me, it's giving a test run. I call those test runs, like, hey, go out and see how the environment is. And they sent one little runt. Now here is my Norma Jackson. I got this from Sierra Madre at Redland International Orchid Show. And for you guys that have been following me for a while, you remember when I bought this, everybody was asking me, where did you get that, over at the show? And it is busting out with spikes. This is just the beginning. All these are new spikes. Hold on, let me see if I got a better view on the other side. I had trouble finding a good spot for this. It kept on dropping leaves. It was not acclimating well. And I put it in this pot that I had gotten at the flea market from this, and I put it on this base. David from Morning Dove, he makes those, and you know what, it really ended up liking it. It loves it there. It's giving me so many spikes, and the blooms have been, this has been blooming for a while. I just kept forgetting to show you because I had it in here so I wouldn't see it. And this one just bloomed too. There's a Noid dendrobium that looks sort of like a cattleya. I've shown you guys, but it's gotten gorgeous. Look at that. After I put it with charcoal and I was gonna say charcoal and vodka. Charcoal and lava rock. Let me just quickly glance here. These are the ones I bought at Equagenera. Do you guys remember these? For you aroid lovers, look how big that's gotten. I have bought them too. I'm going back to my southern roots. When I was a kid here in Florida, I was born here in Miami, Florida. We were the only Hispanics in my neighborhood. Everybody else was very Southern, and I spoke like that as a kid. So when I went to Chicago, to the Midwest, people thought I spoke weird. So then I started talking like a Midwestern, and when I came back to Miami, people were like, why are you talking like that? So my English is a mix of Southern, Midwestern, and Cubanesque. And this is a variegated bird's nest that I got over at, I can't remember the name of the, oh, is it here? See, I wish they would always, that they would put the name of their companies, because it'll make it easier. They're two girls that own the place, and they went to Krull-Smith. They were so sweet. They were staying in the same hotel we were, and they were so much fun. We actually hung out with them at the I was gonna say auction. All right, guys, I'm trying to remember not to put my hand here, because the way I mounted the phone today, it's easier for me to flip around, but I can't put my hand on the left side. I have to hold it. For all my newbies, this is where I have most of my phals, my moth flowers, you know, those orchids that you find at most nurseries. And I also have some aroids, lots and lots of bulbophyllums. Speaking of bulbophyllums, of phals, these are more of the, I guess, you know, you have the moth flower, but then these are called phalaenopsis just the same. So I sometimes call them species phalaenopsis, but this is a hybrid, so I don't know how we'll call this. This is from Krull-Smith. This is a Texas giant, or a Tejas giant, and it is busting out with flowers. Look at all that. All these are buds that are just about to open. And when I say, you know, when you buy from quality growers, this is the end results. I don't want to see, he's sleeping there. You see him? He's sleeping right there. So I don't want to like move. Sorry, buddy, I'm not going to move it. I was going to move it around to show you the quality of this plant. This plant I bought about 5 years ago, before I even thought about doing this channel. So it's my first phal that I got at Krull-Smith from Julian. And I didn't know how to take care of them, so I almost lost it. I had only 2 leaves left. When I finally learned, it was still alive. And I repotted it in New Zealand moss with, on the very bottom, I put those packing bits, styrofoam, to add more drainage. And look what a beauty she is. And she's giving a lot of flowers. So have patience. Orchids teach you a lot of patience. And you will have these results, I promise you. Anybody can have these results. Because I never had these at first when I started. And I sometimes stand around here and I go back to what I used to do with my orchids, and how many I killed, and how many I just didn't know what I was doing. But I never gave up, you know. Every one that I killed was a learning lesson for me of what not to do to that specific orchid. Now this is definitely a registered one. This is a pyloric one. And let me see. Oh, I don't have the tag. This is one of the ones that I think the tag, here we go. The tags get swallowed. But I would rather them get swallowed in here, because I know I'll find them, than to fall out. But in here I don't lose them. And look, pyloric means that the labellum, this is the lip, right? This is what we call the labellum. So when an orchid flower has these petals, which are, these petals mimicking the labellum, that's what you get. You get 3 labellums. Now this is what's called a full pyloric. That means that all 3 look almost exactly the same. There are minor differences, but they almost look exactly the same. So this place where I get them, it's called Joseph Wu Orchids, and you find them, if you're in Florida, you do find them at the international shows, and they are the ones that specialize. It's a family run business, and they specialize in these type of flowers. They purposely work with the DNA and switch it around to make it grow that way. which I think is super cool. Now, this is a Florida Rainbow. This is also from Krull-Smith. This was a gift from Laz, and it's one of my favorite phals here. It smells delicious. It's like cardamom Fruit Loop. So when you guys smell that Fruit Loop smell, that's cardamom. It's really a cardamom background. This is rubbing off, but when you see that word, that name, Christelle, that's Frank Smith, owner of Krull-Smith Orchids. When he uses that name, that's his mother's name. And that means he finds that cross extraordinary. So he only names things Christelle if it's an extraordinary orchid. And usually they win FCCs, if not all. But it's a gorgeous, and it does bloom a lot. It's gotten super big too. It was tiny when Laz bought it. Now my Cochleata, still blooming from the last What's in Bloom. So if you guys want to see more and know more about it, go to the last What's in Bloom, because it's still blooming. All right, my friends, I'm speeding it up because we still have more to show. We're entering spring, so now we're going to start getting the bugs. Oh, we're 35 minutes in. Not bad. We're not doing bad. I thought we were. Oh, look at these little tinies. This I got from Springwater. Now, do you guys remember that I got this over at the Apopka show in November? Still the same flower. I mean, of course, it dropped a lot of them, but the fact that it still has a flower from November, that's just wow. Okay, let me show you this gorgeousness. It's not fully opened for all 4 spikes, but look at this. This is what they call the Myrmecophila Louise Fuchs, another flower named after someone's relative. This is Robert Fuchs of RF Orchids. This cross was named after his grandmother, I believe. Fuchs, what's her name? I'm trying not to get, the sun's right behind me. I'm trying not to get a shadow over it. Even though I'm using my lighting, but still the sun is so bright. I love it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous flower. And it has a wonderful fragrance. It gave me 4 spikes. I know that a lot of people say, you know, putting a Schomburgkia or Myrmecophila in a pot, it just doesn't work out all the time. It is a little bit difficult, but once you get them established, like the ones that I only have 4 in pots. Once you get them established, they really do well. This, can you believe what happened here? Look at this. This is a snail. It was eating the surface. It was such a pretty, I got that from Vicky's Orchids. And this one's full of new spikes. This is a gorgeous Schomburgkia. All right, my friends, let's go here. Let's finalize it here. My red dragon. Look at that. Look at the fluorescentness of this color. And when the sun hits it, it's in its full glory. Look at that. Now this poor plant, I don't know what's wrong with it. I've had it for this is one of my oldest plants. This is all it ever does. It just keeps growing up. It loses the leaves. Look how long. I want to show you guys that cane goes all the way to the bottom. When I bought this, it was that size, that same size. And it'll just grow and grow and grow and grow, blooms a lot continuously, but it always looks like this. I don't know what it is with this plant, and I placed it in every corner of this property, and it just, but you know, it blooms, and it gives me really pretty flowers. So at least we have that. And then this one, I don't know what it is. I bought these, they were 5 for $100 over at the Tamiami show last year, and this is the first time it blooms for me. It's also I think this is not a Renanthera. This is what they an Arachnus. It's a red Arachnus. I think that's what it is. Or Renanthera. I don't know. Could somebody please get me out of this this name thing that I can't figure out. I don't know what it is, guys. I think it's more of an arachnus, or it must have arachnus in it because of these patterns, but it also has this look. So maybe it's a cross of those two. I don't know. We will find out soon. Stay tuned on the next episode of Name That Orchid. All right, let me see if we have anything else. I do have my Josephine Vambrero crossed with Kawadi fragrance. The ones that I put on my trees, these are doing really, really well, guys. I was not expecting this level of success when I first put them on here because I had no idea if they would even take or like this environment. But look at them. They are showing off, and the leaves look beautiful. They don't look distressed. The roots are going all the way up the tree, getting enough nutrition and moisture. So don't be afraid to put your orchids on. If you have a yard, don't be afraid to put your orchids up on a tree. And last but not least, I'm going to show you guys these gorgeous arachnus. This is what they call the arachnus, named after the shape of this flower that looks almost like a spider. And it is a definite heavy bloomer. I'm not getting on a ladder, but that flower, those spikes are way up there, are all in bloom. And there's a lot more spikes around this area that are just starting to bud. So there's spikes and blooms and spikes that are full of buds, spikes that are on their way out. Look at that. Look at that shower of flowers up there. How gorgeous is that? So down here, I'm glad this one's down here because I don't have to reach so high up to show you the flower. Down here, it gave me a gorgeous, let me see if, but there we go. A gorgeous spray. I don't want to cover it. It's kind of hard because the sun is literally there we go. How's that? Better. How pretty is she? And this I bought at Udeli's Orchids here in Florida. They have a wonderful nursery on Chrome Avenue, and they specialize in arachnus, or should I say outdoor sun orchids. And they also have wonderful dendrobiums. A lot of my dendrobiums are coming from there. They have beautiful, beautiful stuff. All right, guys, so let me turn this around. Take a view here, and that way you can see more or less how everything is coming up, because I've noticed, I started looking at old videos, and I said, you know, I don't really focus on the overall. I'm always focusing on the flowers, and I want to see, like when I look back at my videos, see the progress, see everything, how it's grown and changed. And I hardly ever do that. I whiz by everything so quickly, and some of you have complained to me about it. He'd say, don't go so fast. And I go, but the video's going to be too long. Wait, before we forget, there it is, my chandelier. This year, guys, I'm very happy it bloomed, but I'm a little bit disappointed at the cluster size. And I think it's because I had her indoors for too long. It gave me beautiful flowers, but they are kind of small for the size of these plants. But they are pretty though. And I didn't get as many this year as I got last year. I got so many. But I think it's because it's, oh, come on. See the sensitivity on my screen? I'm actually trying to close it in. It's not doing it. So as you see, sometimes a bottom will lose its leaves. That's very normal. That's just taking a lot of energy from the plant to produce and to grow new. It does have a couple of new growths. Look at that beautiful alba. but none of my peach ones that I put there last year bloomed this year. Oh, you can't win them all, right? All right, guys, let's turn this around. As always, guys, I forget something. This is something I've been wanting to show you because it's my very first time that the jewel plant or the jewel orchid gives me spikes. And look at the amount. I was talking about this in the last OFE show. They had a bunch of tiny ones and all in bloom. And I said, well, all those together pretty much sums up how many blooms I have in one plant. Now, this was a gift from Mercedes. I'm going to say this in Spanish because she will appreciate it. She doesn't speak English. Mercedes, esta es la planta que me regalaste. Mira qué linda está. Esta fue la primera planta que tú me diste, que me invitaste a tu casa, que empezó nuestra amistad. Y mira qué grande está y qué saludable. I told her that this was the first plant she gifted me, and that's when our friendship started. The first time I visited her home, she had sent me a message. She goes, I live in Miami. Would you want to come by? I will have a gift for you. So she gave me this. It was not the size, but it was a pretty good size. And she told me, this is a cutting from mine, from the mother plant. And I'm like, I've never grown these. And, you know, I gave it a shot. I haven't moved it from what she put it in. And look how gorgeous. This is going to be a beautiful show of white flowers. I really, really like the flower. This people criticize it. I'm like, I don't. I think it's a wonderful orchid. And the fact that this is the only orchid that looks like this, right? Like that's what I love is so unique. Those leaves, those stripes, and then you flip the other side and it's like a reddish pink or reddish rust. It's just so pretty. I love this orchid. And I love the fact that I'm getting all the flowers. So I didn't want to forget. Mercedes, casi siempre se me olvida enseñar esta orquídea. Las tuyas seguro que deben estar grandísimas. I have to do a visit at her home. She and Maria keep sending me pictures of what everything looks like. And I keep telling them that I have to find a time. Like today, I'm filming my What's in Bloom because I have to take a day off. I need a little rest. And I go, you know, perfect timing to do it. So, I just got to find a time, but I desperately want to go because they, I wonder if I can turn this around while I'm recording. I don't think so. All right, guys, that is it. That is the end of today's show. I feel super good about this video. I felt, because usually when I do these videos, I always feel like I leave something out. This, I don't feel at all like I left anything out. And I think I shared all the great stuff that's in bloom, as well as the stuff that's coming up soon. So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for following me, for hitting that subscribe button, for hitting like. It doesn't cost you a penny. If anybody told you that you're getting charged for that, they're liars. So just go ahead and just click and watch. You don't get charged. So anyways, there's a lot of shows coming up soon. There's a Wellington International show, the first of its kind in West Palm Beach. I'm excited for that one. There's also the Flamingo Park. I'm going to put all that in the end of the show. That way you guys can snap shoot the screen and see if you can attend any of these shows. I try to go to all of them, but it gets difficult. All right, so I think that is it. I always look around to make sure I don't forget. I think I got it all. I hope it's not landing in my yard. It sounded like that plane it's landing. They have an airport close by here, so it always sounds like they're landing. Anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out this long with me in this chatty video. I am Nelson. You're watching Nature Now. And remember to always keep it green. See you next time.